have more interest in our CSA than we have shares available. People are starting to realize that, you know, we've got these high cancer rates, processed foods are giving us diabetes, and heart disease is the #1 cause of death in the US. And they're just rejecting that, and they want another alternative. So these small local organic farms are providing that alternative. And it's not such a visible movement because they're simply opting out. People, you know, are also pretty upset about what conventional farms are doing to our soils, what they're doing to our waterways. I mean, look at Chesapeake Bay and the Gulf of Mexico with these huge algae blooms. They're just these sick ecosystems. People are tired of it, and they want to see something else. And so they start joining up slowly but surely, and they realize that, wow, this tastes so much better, I feel better, and it's just, you know, it's the right thing to do. They feel it in their heart.
I'd like to welcome everybody back to Full Circle Farms. This is our 9th week, and as you can look around, the garden is going off now. So now my problem is keeping a steady idea on what to do with all this good stuff. So we're gonna do a beautiful lemon roasted beets. The beets right now are just absolutely perfect. And then we're gonna also do a little seared snapper, raw vegetable salad up on top of that with one of my favorites, the kohlrabi. This is a great one to learn how to deal with. So let's get into it. Slice these guys, get them into the foil, because we're gonna drop these beets right inside the coals. We're gonna layer our lemons like that and cut off our stems. We're also gonna save the beet greens today because we're gonna saute these with the rest of the vegetables. Bit of olive oil. I'm gonna throw some on the lemons too. Gonna hit these guys with a good bit of salt and pepper. Give them a little toss about. And into their home. Cover these guys up. And at home, you can do this same preparation, but just put it in an oven about 425 degrees, and that'll take about half an hour or so. So what I've done at home is juiced about 3 beets. This is beautiful stuff. Gorgeous color. I've got a couple pieces of peeled ginger here, and I'm gonna go across the grain, and what that does, if you go with the grain, you get a lot of the ginger, the pith, and the fiber in there. So you can see on the back of this microplane, that's just perfectly grated ginger. There you have it. That's probably almost a tablespoon. Now we're gonna go directly on the heat. It's called a reduction, not a just boiling all over the place. You want it nice and gentle and take your time with it, just like a light simmer. Just take about 4 tablespoons of butter here. We're gonna drop it right in the pot. We're gonna get that near the heat, not too close. This kohlrabi is one of my favorite vegetables, super versatile. And as you come in here, your knife is, where you feel a little bit of resistance, just cut right there. And then it starts to get soft underneath, and the top should be really soft. Start just below the stem there. You can take a veggie peeler or a paring knife and start from the top and just turn it around. So we got that guy prepped. We're gonna get into our fennel here. It's a beautiful fennel. Hello. I'm gonna cut off the fronds. I take these guys here, the woody stems, use them as stock. I'm gonna trim up the ends, clean the outer leaves. There's a little dirt on the outside. I usually save these guys here also for a stock. We're just gonna shave that really, really thin there. We're gonna go right in this bowl with that, and then we're gonna work on the kohlrabi. Really thin on that too. And then we're gonna put the knife to it here. We're gonna go and set this aside now, and then we're gonna work on our cherry tomato vinaigrette. So we're gonna start with a little shallot here. And for this guy, I like to go really, really thin. We have other uses for shallots today, so I chop this guy up, save the other piece. Little tablespoon of shallot there. We're gonna go in with some mustard. Little teaspoon there. Squeeze a little lemon in there. Teaspoon. We're gonna add some of our citrus champagne vinegar to this. Just a little stick. Okay, now as always, season. A little bit of salt, touch of pepper. Now we're gonna hit it with our olive oil. Just emulsify. And I'm just gonna do a little bit of oil because I want this to be kind of sharp, just to accompany with the fish. So these beautiful tomatoes are just gonna get cut. I want it a little rough. I want to see that structure of the tomato. So we have our mix of lemon balm and dill. A little bit of stem in there is fine. This vinaigrette is, you know, it's a rustic thing, so we're gonna keep it that way. And get a little chiffonade. Just like that, little chop. Look at that. I mean, that's just screaming for a piece of fish. So we're gonna check on our beurre noisette here, which means brown butter in French. What you want on the bottom of this is some brown particles. That's on its way, almost done. Great time to be a chef. We're gonna go out in the garden, cooking on location. We're gonna pick a squash right here. Let's go. Look at this guy. It's perfect. Lucky guy. Right off the vine, we're gonna cut it in half. We're gonna cut it in half again, and then do little guys like this. Into a bowl we go. A little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper. Now we're gonna work on our peas. Just peeling off the backbone. You got a little piece there that you don't want in there, so get rid of it. Same with the snow peas, same thing. And I'm starting to get little wafts of this brown butter happening right here. And I'm pretty sure that we're done. Oh yeah. You can see little pieces of brown in there. And that's exactly what you want. You don't want to take it past that. We're gonna set that aside off the heat. Gonna check on our Gastrique here too. And that baby's coming down nicely. You can see a little bit of steam coming off here, nice and gentle. We're gonna julienne these guys. And some of the peas are gonna come flying out of there. Try to save them if you can. It'll be a lot easier at home when you're not out in the field rolling around. All right, so peas will go in to a bowl. I'm just gonna soften them just a touch with a little bit of olive oil and the tiniest amount of salt here. Hit it with a touch of pepper, just cause that's what we do. Got a nice hot grill here. Basically what you're looking for is a little bit of brown on the outside, some nice grill marks for flavor. We have a beautiful piece of pink snapper. We're just gonna take our knife and just make little tiny incisions here. You don't wanna cut too much into the meat, and what that's gonna do is just get the skin nice and crispy. And I like to go a little bit crossways here. Season both sides. Perfect. All right, so this is as far as I'm gonna take these guys here. So see, you still got a bit of bite to them. We're gonna set this aside just to keep it kind of warm. We're gonna throw our pan on for our fish and get it nice and hot. But we got a little olive oil here. We're gonna go right into this pan with it. Gonna let that heat up just for a moment. Give it a little swirl about. We're gonna go skin side down. We've already scored. I'm gonna get just in that olive oil a little bit and place it in there nice and gentle. Now back to the beautiful kohlrabi and shaved fennel salad. We're gonna do a little bit of chive baton in there, just little inch pieces of chive. And we have some gorgeous chervil as well. It's like parsley, but a little bit more delicate, so that's why we're adding this at the last minute. We use salted butters. We're gonna do a little bit of pepper and skip the salt in this. But we're gonna take a nice lemon here and get a little bit of zest. That's gonna work so nice with the fish. Half a lemon zest there. Then we're gonna go in with our beautiful brown butter here. And I'm gonna go down in the bottom and get some of that gorgeous brown mix there. And that was about 3 tablespoons. And that hot brown butter just kind of softens the fennel and the kohlrabi. So we're gonna go ahead and flip this fish now. So we're working on our fish here, and sometimes, well, especially when you're working in a field, nothing's perfect. So our skin got a little dinged up, if you will. And if it happens at home, just turn down the lights and cover it up. No big deal. So into the peas, our zucchini go here. What a gorgeous summer afternoon dish. Beautiful bed of fresh peas and grilled zucchini. So on we go with our partially crispy skinned fish. And watch this. Like my mother always said, turn down the lights, don't mention anything, and no one will ever know. Look at that. Kohlrabi fennel salad right up on top of that. So now we're gonna go on with our cherry tomato, lemon balm, and dill vinaigrette. Look at that. So we're gonna finish our dish with this basil oil that we made last week. Just a little bit on top, some around the sides. Here's our finished dish. It's a crispy skin snapper, sort of, with the kohlrabi and fennel salad, grilled zucchini, cherry tomato vinaigrette with lemon balm and dill. So we're gonna check on our beets right now. Our Gastrique, you can see it's 3 tablespoons from a cup. So that guy's ready to go. Oh, look at that. Oh, perfectly cooked beets. Let's just set these guys aside. We're gonna put these carrots in there raw, skin on, scrubbed a little bit. Just a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper. Whoa! On a nice bed of charcoal there. All right, so we have all these beautiful braising greens here. We're just gonna rough chop them. We got beet greens in there, kale, some mustard, a little bit of arugula. Well, these are the beet greens that the beets came off of. We're gonna use those. We're just gonna chop them up with the rest of the guys here. I want those a little bit bigger than the braisers. And then we're gonna work with this beautiful chard here. Just gonna pull that off the stem. With our chard, we're gonna go a little bit bigger too. Put all that aside here, big mountain of greens. So pretty. And then what I love to do is a little bit of shallot, rough chop, little shallot, little garlic. We're gonna check on our carrots. Just getting nice and browned here. So for this dish, you want a cast iron with the lid. You want a nice bit of olive oil in there to richen this up. Get that guy in there, listen to it sizzle. The shallots and the garlic right on top of that. So now we're gonna add the rest of our greens in. We're gonna put the lid on it. And when we open that back up, it's just gonna be wilted down. So pulling our carrots off here, just barely caramelized on the outside. You can see a little bit of brown there. Oh yeah, that's what's going on. All those greens down in just a little bit of time. So we're gonna talk a little bit about cooking with wine. You gotta make sure it's good. This is gonna add a little bit of acidity to the greens. We're gonna go in with about 3 tablespoons of Sauvignon Blanc. In all seriousness, don't cook with wine that you wouldn't drink. Get a nice bottle of wine, inexpensive, but if you're gonna drink it, cook with it. And if you're not gonna drink with it, don't cook with it. Now we're gonna season these up. A little bit of salt and pepper. Lid goes back on. If you have different colored beets here, you wanna take your light color beets first and get their skins off. Just give them a little massage. Final beet here. Oh my goodness. Nice and soft, still a little bite. They're kind of craving a little olive oil and just a little touch of salt as well. Gorgeous. Let's get our carrots back on the heat here. We're gonna check on our Gastrique here. We're gonna go in with a little bit of balsamic, 1 tablespoon. And now we're just gonna mount it with a little bit of this Meyer lemon olive oil, which is gonna give the beets and the greens just a beautiful burst of flavor. I mean, look at that. So let's do 5 little cute piles of these gorgeous greens, just like that. And I'm gonna lay these carrots down here and there. This is a Bellwether Farms whole milk ricotta. You can use a goat cheese, you can use burrata. We're gonna go right in between all these guys with the ricotta. Right up there. So pretty. And now for this gorgeous gingery beet gastrique, we're gonna go just on each beet here, and that's gonna kind of creep down into that, all those braised greens. I'm gonna get a little around the side here. We're gonna finish with a little fleur de sel right up on top of each beet. These guys are on the way out, so this is gonna be the last hurrah for our beautiful nasturtiums. And this is gonna give it a gorgeous peppery flavor. And there's our final dish, lemon roasted beets. We got braised greens, blistered carrots, and a beet gastrique to finish. Little whole milk ricotta. I mean, I can't wait to eat this. That's a wrap for this week. Full Circle Farms. It's been a real pleasure cooking out here in the field, but no one's here, so I'm gonna eat this food by myself, so thank you. That's so good, dude.
Yeah.
Dolly Wonga.